Okay, so the anterior aspect of the sphenoid bone rotates anterior and toward the feet, cauded, and around a transverse axis in flexion, and the greater wing subtly widen and move toward the feet. In relation to this, the occiput also rotates around a axis, which is transverse by nature, but it's going in the opposite direction. So the junction between them, where is called the sphenobasilar joint, and it's moving upward or cephalad. And again, all the other midline bones are rotating in the opposite direction. So in the inhalation phase, the inferior parts of the sphenoid are moving and the occiput are moving closer together. And you can take a look at this right now, the graphic presentation. And this is called flexion. In the inhalation phase, the inferior aspects move apart, and this is called extension. So before we go any deeper into this, I would say, just for kicks, take the next 15 minutes or so, and with your hands in the greater, on the thumbs on the greater wing of the sphenoid, using Becker's hold, and of course you can do Sutherland's hold for this, the greater vault hold. Just listen for about 15 minutes. And then come back to the tape. Or if you don't have an opportunity to come back because a client is coming in or somebody that you can practice on, just listen in your mind after looking at this graphic presentation that we're showing you here. Just sit very comfortably using the practitioner fulcrums that you've used many times now, and just allow holding a field. And I don't think it matters so much if it's the biosphere or the wide field, although I would suggest in the beginning, because of the subtlety and the sensitivity of this area, to hold a wide field. And you can even listen to this in the whole concept of primary respiration. If you'd like to, look at the other books that you have on anatomy and look at the other bones, you can, using the dura as your foundation, everything that's encapsulated or encompassed by dura is their primary respiration system, and you can listen to it in movement, but the center of that is the sphenobasilar joint, or anything else that works for you. But if you did nothing else for the next 15 minutes or the next few sessions that you get to practice this, just hold the sphenobasilar joint and the graphic presentation that we're showing you, and just hold that in your field and listen and wait and let the system come to you, and don't have any expectations, and just allow, again, as I've said many, many times before, probably some of you are like, oh no, not again, eyes are raised. Just allow this work to unfold before you, and let it deepen, and the more hours that you do this, the deeper your understanding. The more years, the deeper your understanding. The ahas come from this work. People have told me that, years after I've taught them something, they remember it, or they wrote it down, or they remember hearing me saying, and the aha comes from hours and hours of practice. So try that for just a little bit, and we'll come back to more of this sphenobasilar joint in just a moment. It includes the occiput, the parietals, the frontal bone, the temporal, the palatines, the ethmoid, the vomer, and the zygomatic bones. The occiput also articulates with 6 other bones, and these include the sphenoid, the parietal, the temporal bones, and the atlas. So it's as if, as the fluid is welling up, one of the images that I was given, I think works really, really well, is like a flower, like a lotus flower opening. And their flowers are expressing their movement fluidically. Not in a mechanical sense, but very fluidically. And part of that fluidic observation is going to give you information about a particular bone and its needs, or at a sutural compression. And so the sphenobasilar joint is, it's like a sighting mechanism. It's like binoculars looking into the system with little crosshairs that you can get the center focus of, widening from side to side in your hands, while it narrows front to back. And most of the paired bones are flaring a little bit at that movement. So the lateral aspects are flaring, and you'll feel the parietal bones in your hand widening. So play with that for a little bit, for 15 minutes or so, and then come back to the session. It's in these little pieces that you master and you observe and you witness that your skill will deepen and widen, just as if you were playing scales on a musical instrument, or even 3 bars of a lick, or where you've heard something or you're interpreting it on paper, and you just, man, that is a great little ditty. Let me play that over and over again until I have it wired. Same thing with this work. You really want to take the time and get the small pieces of it and play with those small pieces until you own them. So try that. Just listen to the skull. Listen to it as it widens laterally, but front to back. It's actually narrowing.